have a confession to make. I'm a musician. And as a musician, I have been a musician since elementary school. First learning how to play trumpet, then learning multiple brass instruments, then becoming a technician who worked in areas of music recording, and then at 29 years old, I started to learn how to play bass guitar. And as a musician, this has been something that is both very satisfying, very fruitful. This is something that has built community. And this is something that also sometimes is utterly frustrating. Because one of the things that happens is often you are reaching for something that is an idea that is beyond your reach, beyond what you can get to. And I'm sure that this doesn't only happen to musicians, but I'm sure that the reaching for something beyond what we can attain is something that people in all walks of life understand periodically, at least, if not a fair amount of the time. As a musician, I have been drawn to express creativity through music. Sometimes as a bass player, creating a foundation in which other people can sing and play instruments to and all be in tune and in time is a great joy. Sometimes as a musician, singing and having people also raise their voices to the Lord is a wonderful thing. Sometimes you end up starting a music group and other people plug in their talents as well, and you get to hear something that is glorious and is wonderful and is far beyond what any of us individually could have ever done. But one of the other things as a musician that has really been wonderful for me is taking my love of Scripture and taking my love of music and taking portions of Scripture that are lyric. And sometimes there's minor changes to the words in order to make them lyrics. And sometimes there's a full rewrite. Sometimes the order that they come in Scripture, they have to be turned around. Sometimes there's synonyms or metaphors that the words reflect, and that in finding these, song comes out of that. But I've never been really good at memorizing verbatim something. But when a piece of lyric is turned into a song and added to a melody, at that point in time, I can remember. So part of songwriting for me is the joy of taking a piece of Scripture that I love and being able to share it in a melodic context with someone else. Part of the joy of songwriting is seeing myself in characters in Scripture, and whether it's King David, whether it's Moses, whether it's Jeremiah, Ezekiel, or Isaiah, whether it's the apostles, their words reflect a situation that they were in. And as I take on the text that they lived through and paid a high price to come to an understanding on and an ability to share, I can look at this and see the resonance of the truth in their words in my life, and I can share them too. So not everybody is a musician, but I hope that your soul is resonant with what the Spirit of God is doing. I hope that whether you run into it in poetry or in song, I hope if you run into it in metaphor or in simile, I hope that if Scripture itself speaks truths that you find are similar to the truths of the craft or the trade that you've learned how to practice. However it works, I hope that there is a song, metaphorical or otherwise, that is moving in your heart and in your soul. And that as you see the truth of who God is, you'll also see the truth of the circumstance that you are in, and there will be excitement about this. And that, as the psalmist says, I will sing a new song unto the Lord. I hope that in your world and in your way and in your purposes, you will sing a song to God, and that you will see part of the worship, part of the work you do, part of the establishment that you've created, part of the move of the Spirit of God in your life as different ways that things are being sung and praise is being brought to the Lord. So may you be successful, may you be useful, and may you be joyful in the songs that God creates through your being glad He is God. Shalom.